everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Nicole with Made from Scrap. I wanted to just do a little kind of craft with me. I'm going to make another one of these little barns. Isn't this just adorable? This is made using the ScrapDiva Designs, let's see, 3D barn gift box. And I'm going to do, I think, just a little craft with me, like I said, and I wanted to show you what it is that I did. I'm using this for a swap that I'm doing, and so it's a really good size to put things in. And let's see, it measures here 4 inches by 4 inches, so that's fabulous. And then just here to the outside, it measures 3 inches tall here, and the very top is 5 inches to here, and then of course you have another inch for the handles. Of course, if you don't want to make this a box for some reason, or maybe you want to make it into a piggy bank, something like that, where you can cut a slot or have a hole that the door that slides or something like that. All kinds of different things. Maybe you want to put a little piggy on the front of it. There is multiple, I'll call them companion dies that ScrapDiva has. This one is the little cute cow. This one is the cute pig. And then this one is the cute horse. And these are also adorable. I have made myself a whole field of cattle here, and aren't these adorable? So yeah, I love it, and I figured, okay, I'm definitely making a second one of these barns, might make a third one, but why not make a craft with me video with you all and kind of show you what it is that I did. So let me move that out of the way. The first thing is, from this, I took the outside die, this one for the large sections, and you need 2 of these cut out. So I used some heavier weight cardstock and I cut 2 of them out. And then I grabbed the bottom here. This is for the bottom, and I only cut 1 of those, so that's this piece, okay? And then you use this piece over here. Ooh, let me move my cow. Move this piece. And this is the sides that go here and here. And the way that this piece goes together is you have these angular pieces. This is going to get attached to the square, just like that, as a hinge. And this kind of more rectangular, rounded side is going to be for the top piece here. So it goes just like this when you lay it out, just like so. So this little section is your tab. That's going to give you a place to attach your roof. So moving on to the roof, you need 2 of these roof pieces right here, and then that gets glued down. The next thing that I did after I had all of those cut out is I went ahead and used my 3D embossing folder. This is the 3D texture fades. It is item number 666295 from Sizzix, and this one is called Cracked. And so what I did is I placed my cardstock down in the embossing folder like so. I used my little water spritzing bottle to put a little bit of water drops on it, closed it up, ran it through my embossing machine, and then you take it out. Yes, it makes it a little harder to see where those lines were, but look, you can pretty much just give it a little bit of a bend and you'll find where that line was. So this is the next step. You're going to do that. I should mention I did that with all 4 sides, okay? So after that, then you have this piece, and it has these 4 tabs. Okay, let's do that here too. I'm going to move these out of the way for a sec. Off to the side. Okay, there's that one. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So now I have 2 of these. Okay, that's on either end, like that. And then I'm going to take my side pieces and do exactly the same thing. Give that a quick little bend. I'm only going to do those 3 sides so far. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do this one as well. Okay, next. You don't have to use your 3D texture fades, obviously, but I wanted to give it that wood grain look to it, okay? I did not do the bottom in the embossing folder because I wanted this just easy to put together on the bottom. So next thing I did is take my glue here, and what I did is I put the glue on my tab. Ooh. Okay, that was a bit much. All right, now remember, I have the longer side that's more rectangular but rounded edges, that flap, away from the square, okay, the bottom. And I'm just going to go ahead and give that a little press. Make sure that I have it tucked in up against that fold. And you'll see, you'll match the corners here where the angle comes together. You can see that one. And then down here as well. And I'm going to use my bone folder just to give that a good solid press. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the opposite side. Just like so. Give that a little bit of a scooch. So I'll make sure those corners line up just right. Okay, now I'm going to turn this. I forgot to do the bottom. So now I'm going to place glue along that bottom hinge of the large barn side. Okay, and see how I'm lifting this up just so that it makes it easier to find where that fold is. So I'm just doing that. Burnish that down really well. This comes together pretty darn easily. Okay. So I'm not going to worry about that little tear. Yes, the paper will get a little bit worked through using that 3D texture folder, but I don't care. I like the look of it. And what you can do is actually give another cut out another one, cut off the tabs and glue it inside to give it a little bit more sturdiness if you like. Now on these side pieces I'm putting glue on the outside of the hinge. I'm going to bring this up and together so that I can just give it a quick pinch with my fingers. I want to make sure I'm lining up the sides here of my box. So I'm just going to give that a quick pinch, and I'll lay it down on my table and do a bit of burnishing here. Okay, make sure it's still aligned there. Yep, and do that burnishing. Okay, I'm going to do exactly the same thing on this side. Put my glue on the outside of that, bring it up, bring it together, and give it a pinch. Okay, just like so. You can use hot glue for this, but it gives a little bit more time, obviously, to just use the wet adhesive. If you do need to move it around a little bit so that your sides are square. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to do that with these sides. Hard for you to see, but I'm just getting inside and pressing with my bone folder so that I'm smoothing down that flap with the glue on it. Okay, and then last one needs to tuck inside again. So let me put the glue right. And we'll give that a little squeeze and hold that for just a moment here. All right. There we go. Okay, now we have the base of our barn all put together, and we should have these tabs here. I'm going to let this glue set for just a second here. Okay, moving on. Next, I went ahead and cut out these windows and doors. Okay, so this is the backing for the door, and this piece right here cuts out separately the backing for the window and then the window mullions itself, and so you end up with things like this. You have the square and your mullion, okay, and then you have your sliding door, and you would have a backing piece. Now I cut mine out of two different colors because I layered them up for a little bit of a shadow, a drop shadow, just like that. And I did inking on all of the other ones, so I'll probably do the same thing here. Okay, just like that. And actually need to decide if I'm putting brown behind or if I'm going to just ink the backgrounds of these. That's what I did on this box right here. Above the doors, I put the window with the brown background, and then on the side here, the windows, I used what I had cut out in a gray cardstock, and I just put Distress ink on top of it, and that was ground espresso. So I think that's what I'll do here as well, so it's matching, but I do need to cut out two of these with the brown background. And then I need to cut out, let's see, this is for, these two are for this and this, and so I need another 4 windows here. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through my die. I'm going to pause this and I will be right back. Okay, let's go ahead and put all these together now that I have them all inked. And I hope you can't hear the TV in the background because, oh, my oldest grandson and my husband are watching The Good, Bad, and the Ugly in the room next door. But definitely cowboy themed. So there's a thing for, I guess, these Lynn men to watch old westerns. That's for sure. I went over to my in-laws today, and of course my grandson already knows, oh, what's on the TV? Gunsmoke. Yep. Alright, I've got these two. I'm putting the darker brown behind that I cut out. You don't need much glue on these at all. Okay. Don't have to overdo it. So trying my hardest not to be heavy-handed with this. Just leave that little tiniest bit of an offset. How about you all? Are you into the, well, maybe if you're watching this, either like Old MacDonald's farm, you know, how are you planning on decorating your, oh, I'm missing the brown ones, Nicole. Oh no, this is the way I did it. Okay. How are you decorating your barns? Make this a little darker. Are you doing your barns shabby chic? Are you doing them, like I said, old McDonald's farm? Are you, you know, making it very rustic? What's your thoughts on the barns here? I think I can make many of these because they're so darn cute. I definitely am going to make some sunflowers for this. Yep. Have to. I mean, this red barn, the sunflowers, the cows, the horses, the little pigs. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Okay, that's all the doors and the windows. So we're going to take the roof. There is a score line here that was embossed, and there's one here as well. So I'm going to make sure to just give that a little pinch right there. Okay, this really has just an angle. We're not going to fold it all the way in half, or just has the slightest bit of an angle for that roof section. And I will tell you, this one is a little bit more difficult to get attached because you're uncertain as to where is this thing supposed to go to. I'm going to bend this back, okay, since the top I want to be up. But what you need to do is look at these side pieces, and let's go to that. So these pieces right here, what I did on this one is actually just fold those tabs over and give that a little bit of a sturdier, you can see it there, a sturdier top edge. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that once again. So I'm going to put some glue here, and I will just fold this over and give it a little pinch. I'm going to use these little clothespins to my advantage since they're right here on my desk. That one a little pinch. Come over here. Give that a slight pinch. Only needs a minute to grab. Okay. This glue is fantastic for that. Right. And we can give that a little bit of a burnish. Extra measure. Okay, take that off. Give this one a little burnish. All right, now you can see those points, and this is where this roof section really needs to nestle. So you want this point here to line up with the folded edge, and the top here to line up with this. And that's how you're going to know where this roof aligns, okay? And it just has ever so slightly of an overhang, okay? So I would not use the fold as the location to glue the edge of this roof on, because you're going to be sitting up, I'll show you, too high. You see that little gap? So you don't want to do that. Make sure that you bring it down, align it with the angle of your side panel, and that way you'll see that little bit of extra overhang. Okay, so like I said, this one is a little tricky, but let me go ahead and glue these tabs down on the opposite side real quick. Burnish those. Give that a good pressing. I think I'm wiggling my table and everything here, but you know, I'm trying to give it a good press. Okay, fold that one in. Sturdy pressing. Okay, and the other thing is, don't bend these all the way in. You need them to stick up a little bit, just so you can get your glue. You do need that score line, right? But now we're going to go for it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place glue here on this outer edge of that flap, and then I'm going to hold this here against the edge so that I can align this corner and this top. Once I have that, I'll be able to just, I guess, use my fingers here to hold this onto the side, and reach in and give it a little press. And this is why the glue is going to be your friend instead of hot glue, okay? Because it's sticking over a little bit too much there. It's not sticking over enough on this other side, so I want to just slide it a little bit before that glue sets entirely. And there, I just did it, Nicole. So let's try this again. It's a little tricky, like I said. Okay, you want to even this side to this side. Give that a press. Okay, let me see if it lines up. A little high. Okay, I'm going to take that off before I do it, before it totally dries. Let's give it a shot again. I'm just going to hold it here for a second. And I saw where it lined up, so it doesn't shift on me again. Okay. I see that's good. We're not making rockets here to go to Mars. We're just making a little barn. Hey, is it a barnuminium? Oh my goodness. What about that? What if you know somebody that just has themselves a barnuminium and you want to make them a housewarming gift? How cute would this little box be to gift them something? Yep. Adorable. Adorable. Okay, lining up those corners. A little bit of overhang on either side. Now I need to smash it against my table so that I can press it down. Make sure it's still straight. I think I wiggled it a little bit here. Yeah, that's good. Give it a good burnishing. All right, there we go. Together, let me bend this one back so it stands up. And there we go. Okay, so this does hold together with a paper clip, and you can see that until you have trained the paper a little bit to kind of bend in, it's going to want to bend out a little bit, but it gets better after fussing with it, I tell you. Okay, so I just hold that, put those pin clips on there, and let's move on to the windows and the door. So here's where you could use some hot glue. I'm just going to go ahead and continue using my art glitter glue here. Okay, and I'm going to place this one right here, eyeball center, and let it just catch. Then I'm going to be placing this one right here. So let me go ahead and put glue on it. Line that up. That's where the hay goes. Keeping it dry. Okay, I have to open this now because I'm going to have to give it a pinch. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. Just press it down for a second. Okay, that should be good. If it comes up a little bit, just need a little bit more glue. Give it a good press again. It'll be just fine. Okay, let's move on to the other side. I'm going to do the same thing here. Now what I didn't do on this one is do the distress ink on the barn itself. So this one's a clean barn and the other one's a little dirty. You know, it's been out in the dust fields, in the dust bowl. this one here. So super cute, isn't it? Do you have fun with your dies? I mean, I have fun with my dies. Okay, here we go. Moving on, I got the windows. Gotta let some air in here. Maybe you have horsies. You want to give them some air into their what do you call it? Am I going blank? The stall. Oh my gosh. The stall. All right. That one. The last two. Just like that. And just like that. Right? Isn't that adorable? So there you have it. The clean barn. There you go. And the dirty barn. There you go. Do you have a favorite? Here's all the cattle. Cute little cattle. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you had fun crafting along, and I'd love to see your projects. Tag me. And remember, this is a die collection from ScrapDiva Designs. Really fun to help out a small U.S. business and have a lot of fun with them. Until next time, everyone.